Welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Supervisors, Thursday, October 29th. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our brave servicemen and others serving our country here and abroad. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll get right to the new business. First order of business will be the termination of the township manager. Consideration to take appropriate action. Do I have a motion?
I move. I'm sorry, am I on here?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I move that the Board of Supervisors terminate the employment of Greg Schuster as Township Manager effective immediately, and that the payment of his severance benefits, excluding health care benefits for him and his family, be delayed until the completion of the 2019 and 2020 audits of financial records with no findings of malfeasance.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the public? No questions or comments from the public? Okay, so with that, we'll call the question. Kathy?
Aye.
Mark?
Regretfully, aye, Mr. Chairman. I wish Mr. Schuster well in his future endeavors, but regretfully, I'm an aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, and I agree. I regretfully have to do this, but and we wish Mr. Schuster well in all his future endeavors. Okay, next order of business is the appointment of the interim township manager. Consideration to take appropriate action. Is there a motion to accept the proposal of Macaulay Consulting LLC and appoint William J. Macaulay III as interim town manager?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the public?
Hello, my name is Janice Charlton, Lemon Street, Warminster, Pennsylvania. My question is this the same gentleman who the township hired to do the research on the finances and then chose not to use any of his advice?
This is the person that presented that that report, and that's correct that that the past management did not take any of his advice. Thank you for your comment.
Can I ask another question?
You can make a comment.
Okay. Is there any other person eligible to hold that seat as an interim?
No one more qualified than Mr. Macaulay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other public comment?
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seeing none, we'll call the question. Catherine,
Aye.
Mr. McKee,
Mr. Chairman, while I agree that the board wants to go in a new direction, and I totally understand and support that, I'm a no on Mr. McCauley. I just have concerns about his character. I don't question his competence. I don't. I just question his character, and I'm a no.
okay.
Respectfully.
Mary,
Aye.
Judy,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion carries 4-1. Mr. McCauley has 40 years in government and management and has never had any complaints about his character. So anyhow, that's motion carries 4-0. There is no other business.
The motion carries 4-1, Mr. Chairman.
4-1, yes, correct. So there's no other business, so we'll open it up to public comment. Amanda, would you please read the comments? Came in.
Sure. There is two public comment received today via email. Jennifer Marr from Orchid Road. I'd like to know what is happening with the naval housing that's been sitting there vacant for many years. The housing backs up to my backyard, and we cannot even sit outside and enjoy our backyard without hearing the smashing of glass, cursing, things being broken, and various other vandalism going on. I have called the non-urgent police number a few times to report it, but it doesn't seem to be deterring people from going back there and doing no good. Can you please advise as to if patrolling can be more frequent back there, because really it is becoming a nuisance to the neighborhood? And I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Thank you for your comment. I just spoke with Chief Donnelly, and he told me that they do send patrols out there and take care of the people that are out there vandalizing or breaking windows or just creating mischief. And please continue to call the number, and they do send a patrol out there. So, and if that doesn't happen, please let us know. Thank you.
The second one, there's another one we just received by email as well, but the second one is from Terry Sparango on Valley Road. My question is, recently the township sold the crumbling stormwater system to Warminster Municipal Authority. The president of the Township Board of Supervisors, Ken Hayes, is also a board member on the Warminster Water Authority Board. Essentially, he has a fiduciary responsibility to both entities for their solvency. Since this board voted to sell crumbling assets to the Water Authority, would this township, for the sale of that crumbling asset, to just offshore additional debts to another township entity? That's a direct violation of accounting standard known as GAAP, or Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, for hiding debts on a subsidiary entity structure. It's illegal, and many people from the audit staff of Arthur Anderson and Enron, who are still being formally charged for those financial misconduct to deceive the stockholders and lenders. Is this board trying to deceive the taxpayers so they can award contractors to their friends and create more debt? Since this was also a recommendation to deceive the taxpayers, and this board's failure to observe their fiduciary responsibilities to the taxpayers with this simple action. This was a recommendation of the new interim township manager when he was contracted by the board to come up with ideas to fix the budget deficit. Was this the new interim township manager awarded his new position based on his ability to make questionable debt offshoring recommendations? Also, I feel the board president, Ken Hayes, has demonstrated that he has a families to uphold his fiduciary responsibility and has been in conflict of interest as a board member for both the Warminster Township and the Water Authority Board, and making selling of assets transaction between the two related parties, entities, which is a direct violation of GAAP rules. Since Ken has placed himself in a very compromising fiduciary responsibilities position, he should step down from one of the two boards, as it is a direct violation of accounting controls of the oversight bodies of related parties. Thank you very much. The other one we just received was from Mike Ferris on Cornell Drive. I was surprised to learn about Greg Schuster's termination. In my dealings with him, he has always come across as a very nice and helpful person who is very good keeping the citizens of Warminster up to date with what's going on in the township. Will certainly be missed. How much was Mr. Schuster's severance costing the township? Will Mr. Schuster's interim replacement be paid a flat amount or an hourly basis? Do you have the timeline as to when a permanent replacement will be named? If so, can you share the timeline? And that's
Thank
all
you.
the public comment.
Thank you for your comments. For the comment about me and any improprieties, for the record, I recused myself on both votes, both the municipal authority and the township. So there is no impropriety. As far as the answer to Mr. Farris, we're not going to
Mr. Chairman,
disclose,
Mr. Chairman,
yes?
I just want to make sure, just to make it very clear to the public, you recused yourself on both votes from both the Board of Supervisors and from the Warminster Authority. You took part in neither of those votes.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
And as far as Mr. Farris's questions, we don't disclose very different aspects of contracts. You're certainly welcome to submit a right to know. But other than that, we're not going to disclose terms of contracts at a public meeting. Is that it? Amanda?
Yes, that's all the comments we received.
So with that, we'll go to supervisors' comments. I just have a couple comments. You know, the new board, we promised the hardworking residents of Warminster that we would restore responsible government, both fiscally and otherwise. So the actions that were taken tonight were the first steps toward that promise. Mr. McCauley is well-versed in financially distressed municipalities. When he was at Bristol Township, he cut expenses, lowered taxes twice, increased services for the residents, and made around $64 million in improvements to their infrastructure for the benefit of the public. I'm confident he will have the same success here in Warminster. And there was one, I wanted to make another comment or a public comment. I believe Karen Whitney has a blood drive coming up November. I'm not sure what day it is. I wish somebody would please go to the website and support that, because I know our blood surplus or blood supplies are very low.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I just been informed that's this coming Monday.
This coming Monday?
I don't know the times, though, to be honest with you.
I believe it's Monday, November 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the large meeting room.
Next
Yes.
Monday. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. So that's a worthy cause. Our blood banks are in dire need, and please support that if you can. And that's it for me. Kathy, do you have anything to add?
Mr. Chair, just like to wish everybody a happy, safe Halloween. And please remember to vote. If you have not done a mail-in ballot or dropped it off, make sure you go and vote on Tuesday, November 3rd. That's it, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathy. And Mark?
Chairman, a couple things. I want to really thank Paul Dixon and Joe and Colleen Bucci. We were over at the ShopRite last Sunday morning. They actually achieved their goal of 1,000 support Warminster police signs, which is terrific. They've also started a 501c3 non-for-profit. I believe it's called Warminster Gratitude, that they're going to be doing some fundraising for different things around town. I don't know if they're going to get more signs or not. Their goal was 1,000. They got them. I'd love to see them get more, because I'd love to see one on every lawn in Warminster. But really want to thank them. They really went all out on that and spent a lot of time. So kudos to them. And same, Ms. Frescator, same as you. Happy Halloween to everyone. I hope everyone has a safe one. I really hope to see some kids out, but I just hope they practice safe Halloween. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mark. Mary?
I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time out for this special meeting. It was not something that we had initially had planned, but it's just an unfortunate circumstance. And I'd also like to wish everybody a very happy Halloween, and please don't forget to get out and vote next week on Tuesday. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the polls. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And Judy.
Yes, I have something I want to say. This week, several people have called me to tell me that Supervisor Mark McKee has been making snide remarks about me in regard to the horrible looting and rioting that's been going on since the protest of a young man having a mental health episode was shot by police. I need to set the story straight because I've had like 5 calls now. Mark posted on his Facebook page called Citizens for a Better Warminster that one of our Democratic supervisors, and I'm telling you now, that was me, and he knows that everybody knows it was me, said, quote, "It's just property," and said nothing else. I want the residents to know that that phrase was taken out of context. It was said in response to Mark's statement on Facebook last May to shoot all protesters. And again in email, he said, "I vote to shoot all looters on sight." My response was, "It's only property. You don't throw fuel into the fire by killing people over property." Having said this, I want our residents to know that I support their right to exercise their constitutional right of peaceful protest. The rioters and looters are not protesters. They are taking advantage of a very sad situation to rage and loot and destroy. I am sure my fellow supervisors, support law and order. We are a nation of laws. We support the police. Mark later said, "You wouldn't feel that way if it was your property." And I'm letting our residents know tonight that if it was my property, I would feel the same. I would call the police. I would file a complaint. I would not shoot or kill or wish to kill our citizens. So now you have the whole story, and I hope it's clear. And have a happy Halloween and vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Okay, so with that, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening. And a
Happy
safe
Halloween.
Good night.
Thank you.
Hey.
Good night, everyone.
Randy.